all right. Let's get this party started. The first stream, using some new tools. So it's going to be my phone that we're going to see this time instead of my actual computer. But hopefully everybody can hear me loud and clear. I see a lot of people in the room. Affection in the house. Mandela effects. Ishunya. I'm glad to see you all join me tonight. Joe Trump by Ishunya. Yeah, I actually just saw that too. Congratulations. I mean, that's a big deal. That's some value to get in the middle of. If I could say again, hopefully you hear me loud and clear. Hopefully you have your art in the official art thread. The only art thread I know about that's going live on Twitter, right there at NFT Freaks. And you can catch that at twitter.com/NFT Freaks, which I'm sure a lot of you here are familiar with. But share this link. Understand that it's the start. It's the beginning. We're going to get better at this. Things are going to get, more advanced for one artists. The idea here is that we're going to be building this space strictly for people to learn about one artists and what it is we bring to the table. And the best place to do that, the best place to start tracking and finding and hunting down those acts are going to be the art thread that I host. And the reason why is because it's been posted almost every day for about 3 years, right? There's been a lot of people who've sold out of it. There's a lot of people who meet people out of it. There's a lot of people who just get a lot of eyes on it. What happens is after you build a space that people are familiar with and they can kind of anticipate, then they're more than likely to show up to make that happen there. It doesn't work if you make an art thread once or twice, or if you consistently cannot keep up with it. If you're not able to support and leverage artists, you're not able to give them their views, you're not able to give them their flowers, it really doesn't make sense for you to create any art threads. Art threads are a collaboration of juice. It is strictly artists, pages, enthusiasts, collectors, people who are willing to learn, people who, are browsing inside. It's a way for them to build that conversation and to break that ice. I don't know if I'm speaking for myself here, but I'm pretty sure that artists can agree with this. Most artists are introverts, which means that they really don't socialize a lot. They're not the first person to socialize in a conversation or at a dinner table. They might add to it, but they're not the conversation starter. And so when you come into my art thread or when you come into any art thread, the whole reason for no links, texts is to keep the persuasion down, but to keep the calling card of what the art actually does for you, let it pick you off immediately. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, be sure to throw me a subscribe. Make sure you follow, share this with all of your peers on X. I see you in the chat. I have access to the chat. I have the mirroring airplay of the phone. The reason why is because I wanted it to be full screen, right? And I wasn't able to get that dimension from my computer. So I went ahead and I used this. Let me see if I can bring. Give me 1 second. See if we can't bring this. This. Got to figure out how to bring this chat box up soon. Let's see what happens here. Give me 1 second. We'll be bringing up those. We got to get familiar with these widgets soon. We got to be able to, if we're going to stream, we're going to have to stream right, or we can't stream at all. Anybody feel me on that? Can't be showing up with no weak ass stream. But as we get, better, as we get more viewership, as we gain more interest, then we will start to expand what it is we can and can't do. But for now, meet me over there on X. Let's tune into some art. Let's share some of our peers. Let's talk about it. It's all raw feedback. It's not wrong. It's not right. This is going to just be me rolling, taking a look. And again, I'm using my phone here. So when I scroll, it scrolls. So, and you're more than welcome to, of course, how I'm always trend setting. So if you like it, you can use it. But the reason why is because we're able to see full screen, right? And that matters. Do we get sound with this? Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, right here we got Dave. Dave's always coming by dropping hot fire, right? Different sort of style here. I see you playing with mediums. I see you coming out of your shell from the original Dave that I know, at least the one that I collected, right? And I love it. I love you scaling and learning more and doing more with skill. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to share Dave right off the bat. And I'm just going to keep going here. Don't feel any type of way if I don't get to you. I got to go to what pulls me first, and then I can keep going and come back and vice versa. But first, I got to roll with what pulls me, and things like this is what's going to pull me right away. Check out Affection right here. See if we can't blow that up. Check that out. I mean, what Affection does in terms of how he utilizes AI and what his final result is, and the mysteriousness he keeps amongst the community, even not doxing himself to a certain degree or doxing to himself to a certain degree. It keeps that mystery flowing, right? And that's one thing I love about AI artists. AI, artificial intelligence, reminds me of Anon. So it works together. I like this piece right here. You kept it with the black and white, old school pencil style sketch. It's great. Affection. Thank you for stopping by and giving us a chance to review that. Let's keep going here. Oh, I'm going to have to. Yeah, I mean, the guy is just, take a look. Let's go around and just take a look at some of this detail, man. Jokey Argu is just hands down a freaking raw, flaming art talent. Just take a look at this stuff, man. And I believe this is from his Only Words. Oh, wow. I just now saw it. Person's face opening up, and then everything that could possibly be on their mind. Hey, look, let's give this a lot of shares here. Let's give this a lot of love here. Let's give Jokey, one thing about one artist that we have to do is we have to set a standard. Nobody's going to set a standard until we start setting a standard first, and it starts with us. And it's people like Jokey Argu that we need to go out of our way and make sure that people see and understand the same way. It's a must. This is our grail, and we need to support people like this. Okay. Please show love. Please share that post. Please make these art threads worth it. And Jokey is somebody who is really making this space for artists. You come behind Jokey and you blend in with that art, and people are going to validate you. And that's one thing that you want to do here in this space. Don't be scared to share badass art. The more you share, the more relations to high IQ and understanding collectors and other people's start to reward you with, right? Because it's like, okay, yeah, okay, I like Mandela's art, but what does Mandela know? Because if Mandela's aping and getting his coins taken at a bunch of bullshit projects, then the IQ value and the understanding, you see what I'm saying? And so when you share people that are badass, when Ishunya buys into L Rock, yes, you bought yourself a piece. Yes, you got in the middle of value, but what you really did is high signal. You threw a signal. I know who L Rock is. I understand his value. one thing about this space that a lot of people don't understand yet is that you will lose your ain't nobody taking my fucking coins. You will lose your ass if you are not coming in with the right intelligence. You will lose your ass. Doesn't matter if you have good art. Doesn't matter if you're a good person. You have to be willing to understand, hey, it's true. I just moved here. I have to use maps to get home until I'm familiar enough with the area that I no longer need maps. I understand the routes. I understand what it takes to get to that destination. And that takes a while. You might have to drive a couple of times. You might have to be told a couple of times. But the idea is you eventually learn there's an understanding. What does that do? Makes the ride that much smoother, right? Now you can multitask. Now you can use your phone for other things. Now you can stop to go get food. Now you can go pick somebody up and not feel like getting lost, right? And I see y'all down there in the chat. Ishunya Mandela Affection. Thank you so much, Costa. Thank you for joining. Share this with your peers. I don't know how many people we have yet, but I'm sure if you don't take the spot, somebody else will. In Affection, you know that. I mean, taking spots is the name of the game. It's the name of the game. I want to share Fresna. Different style of art, very unique. I've been seeing her art lately, and I've been drawn to the uniqueness of the style. It's something that screams originality, not in terms of, oh my God, you're never going to find a piece like this, but in terms of when it comes to thinking outside the box and original creations, Fresna is going to be up there with it. And I'd like to learn more, and I'd like to get a little bit more interested in that. But I'm glad I follow her, and I'm glad she dropped by this art thread. But it's amazing. It's cool to see people think outside the box. It's the same for you, Mandela, when I see your art. It's the thinking out of the box that really gets me, right? This is an artist that I'll always share too. Alter Lear. I mean, look, one click. Let's go here real quick. Pinned tweet 2 days ago. 4,700 views, 121 likes, 19 retweets, 4 comments. A little bit of tips and tricks here. When you see an artist who has a great header, they have a great PFP, they have a bio that has links in it, they have another link at the bottom, they're utilizing 25,000 followers, pinned tweets. You go here, the good night 4 hours ago, 73. You know, you have to be willing, again, to understand who you're dealing with. And so for Art Lear to come through my thread and drop a piece with that activity is beneficial to me. And I'm appreciative of it. And I love the piece. It's gorgeous. And I want to say, let me just check. I want to say this is original art. I don't think it's AI. And the styles and the techniques that this person throws out is always, always pure fire. Again, clicking back at the profile and just glancing at some of the art. There it is. Check it out. We're going to have to go ahead and put that up there too. Make sure people understand. You know, this is the service that we have to bring in. I mean, look at that. It's ridiculously good, man. I was like, I know I showed that some love, right? So anyways, Alter Lear, thank you for stopping by. Amazing artist in the NFT community. If you have a chance, please stop by there. Show follow, show love, drop some comments. Mike Grill made it. I mean, he's something else, ain't he? I mean, check out this piece right here, Dead Flicks. Then you got the slight GIF animation with the eyes. You got the shotgun. You got, if you look really close, I believe that's a cross on the laptop. He does this sort of holy matrimony pop art style, and it gets really addictive. I mean, at first I wasn't really vibing with it. I didn't understand it. After a while, it just got really cool to me. I mean, it really is, and he really does a great job at, again, bringing that original style and technique, something you haven't seen from somebody else yet. And so when you see it here, might as well own it, right? Might as well own it. I believe so too, Kostev. It looks like I got 9 viewers here right now. 9 viewers. Wish we had some more, but 9 will do. Thank you so much for joining. Please be sure to follow, subscribe, drop some comments, light this up, because the more you light this up, the more artists are going to stop by, the more people are going to give me my kudos, and the more and more this becomes effective. And it's not going to be the only streams I do. I'm going to be dropping tips. I'm going to be doing countdowns. I'm going to be doing some shit on this channel coming up really soon in an effort to get into monetization. Why? Because any form of revenue that I can bring back to the community to spend with artists is going to be a plus for me and my community. So why not? Why not? Moving right along. We're going to go to Mandela real quick. 1 second. We're going to go to Mandela, and we're going to see what pieces he dropped first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with this one here. The reason why is because I love this collage art. I love this sort of Sunday slime Sunday. I love this fucking collaging. I don't see enough of it. Again, there's a lot of people who copy the glitch. There's a lot of people who copy this, who copy that, who copy that. But the collage art, there's not a lot of people doing it. And so when I see it, and I see it done well, which reminds me of those old high school days when you used to have to make your own projects and you cut out different words and you glued it with a little glue stick on it so that you could make a reason for your project to exist. That's what this looks like. Suicidal thoughts and behavior are worsening of the mood. Show more skin and get ahead. Love and abuse. Artificial tramp. Check out this message. Tapping into childhood experiences. You know? Collage game isn't popular, so people leave it alone. Exactly. And it takes somebody like you to pick it back up. And I'm always going to show you love, by the way. Thanks for showing me love as well. But one thing that I like about here that I don't think nobody's pointing out is the way that you used your pink chest from your Sly Guys. And no, I'm just kidding. Hey, look, man, I really appreciate you stopping by. I guess that you're showing more skin. Is that part of the piece? I mean, you leave it up to the viewer, right? You don't really have to talk about what's understood and got to be explained. If you're feeling like that's part of it, V, well, then it sure is. Hey, by the way, join us at Sly Guys NFT. It's one of the best projects in the space, by the way. Pretty soon I'll be running a little bit of commercials, be running a bit of Sly Flies videos, and I'll be using it as my sort of advertisements here, my streams. I'll be showing you my projects. I'll be showing you my builds. I'll be showing you everything that I do as you enjoy what I'm bringing with my own time. By the way, 11:42 p.m. I have work 7 a.m. sharp tomorrow, and I don't care. I just want to put in time with my community. I want to make sure that when the Bulls show back up, that they understand one of one art, and I want people to have a place to find and do that with, and that's what NFT Freaks is all about. Thanks for stopping by, Mandela. I'm going to keep going. Here's somebody I always enjoy looking at. The mind of the art of man is just something different. Again, dark art extraordinaire. The consistency in the style and the technique and the way he owns it. It brings me back to the wrestler, The Undertaker. Because he owns the dark side. Well, it took him a long time, let's just say that, before he crossed over to ever show you that other side of Undertaker. That's what the art of man reminds me of. somebody who owns the dark art side and never really wavers into anything else, right? And I think the more and more you do that, and the more and more you're known for that, the more and more of a superstar you become. Literal art idol of mine. I, I can't disagree as to why you would say that. Um, again. Take a look at this outline right here. Then take a look at the actual skull along with this sort of, if it was inaudible, it's sort of inaudible, but then you can make it. But the way that he does it, the way that he takes all these pieces, right? And you're trying to figure out what, but then at the same time, you're like, holy crap. It's like he does 300 pictures in one. Because when you zoom out, that's the piece. But if you look inside of it, there's many pieces all in it, right? Like there's a face, half broken skull, right? But if you look right above it, right here, it'd be a whole nother skull, right? And then if you put the eyes together, you can have all types of other faces, right? This just reminds me of a almost like a faces of death type of thing, right? Art of man. Show him some love. Make him a dark art extraordinaire. We'll be able to grail somebody who has a certain style and technique and owns it. And that's one person who owns it. Here's a person I really enjoy, an artist I really enjoy looking at. Henning Was Lost. I mean, how many strokes you think in the hair alone? And do you see the light shadow gradient? Every piece he creates is fire. 100%. 100%. Let me throw some. Let's get some hundreds thrown. Let's get some hundreds thrown up in here, baby. Let's get some hundreds thrown. Henning Was Lost brings a certain style that is memorable and mesmerizing. Memorable and mesmerizing. When you see these pieces, you remember them. It's a certain style and technique. I love the dark to light red from the face with the blue. They keep the black. She keeps that black and white. Then the scars on the lip, the eyes. Right? Look at that. Look at that. Look at the eye. Look at it. All right? Let's see. Bring this thing up a little bit more. I mean, look at that. How cool is that? Look at the lips. Look at the detail on the lips right here. The glares, the shines, right? Look right underneath the lips, right here, that white, that light white. Ah, man. Keeps that light white going. You know, people who know how to draw with pen and pencil, it is crazy how they have the pressure, how they control the pressure of the pen or pencil to get that sort of, because I mean, if you had a graphite pencil, if you've ever seen graphite drawings right here, that's what this reminds me of. And the way they control that shading is just, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. Henning Was Lost. Great piece. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, Ning is amazing. And here's somebody who's really amazing as well. Somebody I respect, strong supporter of mine, also Sly Guys member, Freaks You member, friend. LaPro is the real deal. I mean, he is just the real deal. I feel like if he had more time to put into this space and he went around and really jumped in those threads a bit more with some of those collectors, he would be able to. I mean, his style is always changing. It's always nice. He's always bringing quality work with him, whether it's a photograph, whether it's art. He's got this Dreamer series here, which I believe is completely sold out. I mean, it's amazing. the gloss, the color choices, who puts yellow and brown together, gold and brown like this, and makes it pop this hard, right? Check out the crown. Check out the crown. Okay, take a look at this real quick. He goes sparkle pretty much on all of them except for over here on these 3 or 4. It's almost as if he said, not too much, but don't overdo it. I mean, I'm just saying, when you look at the whole entire piece for what it's worth, he does a great job at calling things done. Does that make sense? Always going to share a pro. Thanks for stopping by. Dreamer Series is sick. Here's somebody who impresses me for a lot of reasons. Sing your ass off is what I'm seeing. So obviously this person is singing, looks some sort of like a tribal person, could be somebody screaming, could be somebody who's emotionally disturbed. One thing I like about Master C is I like his personality. It's when you have a great personality and you have art, you're going to go a long way in the community. Now you're doing your spaces and you have this original style, which you can tell he's not copying anybody. You can tell he doesn't care to be perfect or punctual like this. This is what I call, and I don't know if the expressive art, it captures emotion. I mean, when I look at somebody scribbling like this and making stuff like this, and then even making it something you can stare at without just looking like a hot ass mess. Again, you have this control factor in you where you have to call it done. How and when do you call this done? Because there's a lot of times where I'm looking at this piece where I would have called it done. Check out the little white scribbles in between there. Check out the little dots. Check out how he puts the black around the lips with the black around the tongue like that. Look at the teeth, how he made the blocks, but he kept it a certain way. There's a certain style and technique here that, again, if it becomes known and people support it, it becomes memorable and mesmerizing. And again, strong support of mine, Sly Guys member, always going to support Master C. You should always add people like Master C to your network. They can't hurt your network. I'm telling you right. I'm telling you right now. The piece is mine soon. Well, I mean, congratulations if you do. I could see why. I could see why. Let's keep going here. Give Brian Henry some love. Dude, I'm a sucker for them seamless loops. I'm a sucker for them seamless loops. I'm looking for it to restart and glitch. And if it doesn't glitch, my goodness, he pulled it off on the X platform. Listen, when you pull off a seamless loop without any glitching or skipping, I'm telling you right now, it's something you seek out here. Oddly satisfying loops that continuously go without any hiccups and have this sort of resonating power are powerful pieces to go after. In my opinion, they just have I mean, you got to understand, if your eyes and ears are constantly watching and listening, there's going to be a time where something is more pleasant than something else, right? And so those seamless loops, those certain sounds, pianos, dun, 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 dun. I believe it's why the classical music and the whole Mozart. Brian's loops are one of the reasons I started using Blender. Haha, big fan of his works. Hey, I understand. It's amazing. I love the little gold, bright, wake up, good. It's a great good morning post, right? And again, when you make oddly satisfying loops and sounds where your eyes and ears can easily just relax to them or sort of get a pleasure from it, then you're doing things right. That's the whole point, I think, of sounds and GIFs and animations, right? Check out this one. Let's give this one a chance. Pixelated, which I love. I love pixel art for some reason. I'm also liking how pixel art is starting to have its because a lot of pixel art looks flawed, but now there's a certain quality and style where it's almost like for instance, you look at this piece, you look at the scribbling on the wall here, right? But the scribbling on the wall really doesn't look like it matches until you kind of glance down there and you see how it goes. And so what I'm saying is, and it keeps going, you can see the orange, right? And it's like, it's just something, or like you see the green leaves here. It's something where you don't expect to see in a pixel piece. It's almost as if the stairs should have been the only thing here. I'm saying normally. But there are people that are coming and making these pixel art pieces pop by doing things that you're not used to seeing, whether it's just slight animation or slight glitch. And I like that, man. I like how people are disrupting a style or technique that you've been used to seeing, which is pixel art. And I appreciate you for stopping by. This guy's hard to pass. This guy's hard to pass up. Bluntsburn. The art is fantastic. The colors, the pieces, always putting in that sort of hypnotic, enter the new world, fun, playful. Again, the colors being used with the bright orange, yellows, greens, blues. It just, the happy faces that look like little rolls, the pills, the mushrooms in the back. Check out the little hearts right here drawn. The reflections on the bubbles. Even when you get down to the smallest bubble and you just make it an O. I mean, it's little gifts. Like, check out that rocket with the little smoke right there, right? Okay, but then don't leave the dead space out without the little circle up there to the top, right? This little circle right here. So it's just like, and then if you look really close at the flame, there's a circle right there in the flame. And so you just got it, man. And then instead of giving it the same bubble form, look, he starts saying, oh, well, they can't all look like this, right? So then he starts adding some shaping and some movement to it. What's up, Alexander? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Check this stuff out, man. Check this stuff out, right? 2 teeth showing, right? Got Band-Aid, right? Got the music notes. I mean, look at the phone. Look at how many pinks on the phone. You see that right there? Look at the little circle glare right on the duck and the phone right there. A little bokeh. Oh, man. Look at the pitch. Bluntsburn, man. Killer artist. Killer artist. Don't forget to like and comment, subscribe, share. Make sure you turn up on this channel so people can recognize us. But man, it's fantastic. This reminds me of Killer Acid, actually. And it's badass. And it's badass. Here is somebody who's badass, but which one am I going to share? Man. Dude, oh my gosh. Like, you're going to have to go with this one. Just because of the colors. Rodney is a damn jewel of an artist. I mean, the art that this guy throws out is insane. I just caught the frog right there, right? Look at how he does. Look at the rip right there with the implant coming out, right? Look at how he did the cross, but look at how he did the shadow with the tears or the dry mascara running with the blush, right? the cracked cranium. I mean, the guy, this looks like Frankenstein's wife or something, right? But at the same time, crypto art, right? Psh, man, it's crazy, man. And then what he does is to make this pop really hard. Look at the background he utilized. The color palette alone. Look at the little purple around. And he keeps doing it. Look, he keeps doing it. He keeps adding this purple. He keeps adding this purple. He keeps adding this purple. And he keeps it like consistently going. Look at it. Look at how distressed Rodney really does it to me, man. He does it. He does it to me. He makes me fucking flip out. But with that being said, again, you can sell a lot of art, you can make a lot of art, or you can be stingy with it until people recognize who you are. There's a lot of different ways to make this stuff happen. Okay, just because you're minting once or just because you're minting overflooding the game, nobody's saying you can't. But you need to be sure that with whatever you go with, the road and the journey is going to be hard. Whether you mint one by one and stick to your guns like, how I'm trying to do, or if you're trying to overload the game so that you can be recognized because your art's always in front of somebody's face. But somewhere in between there, you have to draw the line as a badass artist and figure it out quickly, because the space, the collectors, you yourself, everybody here deserves for people to see this. Okay? This is art. This is art. It's not AI. Okay? It's hand drawn. And nothing against AI, but every style and technique, like if you come here and you draw it with pencil, or you draw with charcoal, or you draw with chalk, you have to take style and technique and what it takes to accomplish those certain missions all in play. All in play. Let's give this guy some play real quick. Let's give Alexander the Shark some play real quick. Let's check out his art, right? Let's check out how detailed it is, right? So he goes AV84, possibly the year he was born. Who knows about that? I love the water because it's not water that I'm used to seeing. Most people would have tried to get away with just leaving it that blue tone. But again, he puts this white in there, where if you're not careful, it starts to look like electricity or lightning. But because you're in a water scene with the scuba divers, you understand what you're looking at. And so, by the way, I love the scuba divers. I love that you put 2 in there instead of 1. And I love how the depth of it is changing. One guy it makes the picture bigger than it really is, because it looks like one guy is swimming in, but you drew him smaller to swimming out or behind or in front. And then you drew him or brought him in bigger, right? And so I like the depth you're playing with right there. Then the shark itself. The shark looks as if you look here in the nose and you see the yellow and the orange, and then you look here in the eyes and you see the lights, and then you see, and it's consistently going. You made sure that if it's mechanical, that the actual lights, the LEDs, right, was consistently going, and you put them in the exact spots so that they're not too much or not too little. I love the little mechanical roots in the teeth. I like how you hit those gums. Check out the lining of the mouth. I don't know if you use texture there or what exactly. The layers of teeth. the gray into the blue, so you know you're looking at the body, which you kept consistent back here from the metallic, right? Which is hard because you're dealing with tons of blues back here, so it can't get too messy, right? And it looks like you gave it a lot of thought on exactly how you were going to come about it. But again, the palette itself, the blues and and I don't know, it almost looks like he's got a companion with him. It almost looks like he's got a companion with that. For a minute, I thought that was a turtle next to him. But again, it's really cool. Robotic cyborg sort of shark, right? And then of course Alexander Shark, and then we obviously know there's a bigger meaning behind the shark. And yeah, I just appreciate it. And thanks for being a supporter, and also thanks for being a Sly Guys member. And thank you. We should meet more one off the ones a week. Oh yeah, for sure. Shark is top notch. He really is. He's one of a kind in terms of support, sharing, all of the above. I hope we meet more people like that. I hope more people meet him. Yeah. So 100%. Let's see what else we got in here floating around. This is a treat. Old Pickwish. Check out the wizardly, fairyly, fantasy, folklore. Could be an illustration in a book. Could be a character. Look at the freaking attention to detail. Look at it. Just in the neck alone. Listen, there are artists who would have published just this. There are artists who would have published just this. Or just that. But Pickwish isn't lazy. Pickwish is going to go all the way down to the patterns, all the way to look at the arms, the gloss. Look at the little dragon, the color choice. Look at the little blings and the little orbs everywhere, the little lights for the galaxy. Look at the hair. Look at the nose and man, Pickwish is awesome, man. This is a badass artist, man. Every single time I see a piece from this username, it's in the most detailed works that fills the whole canvas. Yes. Every time I see a piece, and I'm just now seeing the planets up there. I'm just now seeing the galaxy. I'm just now seeing the background of being on something. I'm just now seeing all of these little controllers and stuff. These little eye robots. Then you got the little, oh man. What's up, man? What's up, man? Thanks for joining, Alexander. Thanks. We got 8 viewers in the house. I appreciate everybody joining. We've been going for 58 minutes now. I'm going to keep going. Please share this with your peers. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let's get this channel up. Let's get this viewership up. Let's make it a reason. Let's get 100 and 200 people locked in as artists. Let's feed the art world and get them hooked into NFTs by understanding there are people who care about art, and there are people who are willing to learn usernames. There are people who are willing to share personal information through a network. You know, just like you do when you're at AA, just like when you do when you're in rehab, just like when you're sharing your experiences with like-minded individuals so that the strength of you guys can catapult you to new heights. Appreciate the hundreds. Please like, please subscribe, please follow, please comment, and let's get to it. Check out this. Another one of those weirder, creative, original styles. I don't care what it looks like. I care about you wanting to do something different. And this is different for me. I've seen a lot of art. It's bold, it's risky. It makes me feel like you have your own mind. I love that little wavelength that you made it look like the music is coming out of it, right? I love this road. I love the apple pouring out with the hand coming through in a sort of polygon style fashion. I love the little green and the pink with the little hill you used. Then you brought the whole little goose pulley system out, right? Again, who's this user? Dokuza. Got me to click on you. Again, more of that originality. Here we go. Oh man, you look young. You look young. But I love it. I love the originality. I love the uniqueness. I love when people do not follow the crowd, but instead try to make their own crowd. And here's one person that we should follow and give some love to. Who else we got? Oh, whoa, check this out. If this isn't a statement, what is? Check it out. By the way, I believe that's a woman's hand. I believe that's a sunflower. I believe both of those are associated with the same thing, but then you have a gun and then you have the red. And then they utilized the green, but also gave it this black border. So it could almost look like one of those canvas style photographs. But what is the meaning? It could mean a lot of things. It could mean grief. It could mean suicide. It could mean death, departing. It could be a new beginning. And I think that's when you have a good piece, is when it can stand for so many different things all at once. And I love the color choice of it sort of having that black and white pencil style, but then that digital throw of that red blood, and then that pixelated sort of green in the background, so that it makes it stand out further. It's a great piece. Again, so many different meanings here that I believe it's why it's a great piece of art for me. And it's great to acquire, because if you can see a lot of understanding in something and translate it a bunch of different ways, for sure there's other collectors and other people who can do the same thing. And that's the whole point of art, in my opinion. Let's keep going here. First of all, I love that mysterious sound with the deep bass. I love this sort of media's controlling you. I love the freaking off broadcast signal. I love the freaking static. I mean, is this the end of the road for somebody who believes in mainstream media? Is this death to television? Is this keep following me and what you follow on TV? Very mysterious. I love the color of the black and white and darkness, and then that color of that off signal right there capturing the attention. And you know exactly what you're looking at because you're familiar with that color tone on that TV. So thanks for stopping by with a mysterious piece. Great sound design. Smur. Let's see what else we got. Bots galore, huh? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Loving it. How cool is that with the smoke, the lightning flashes? It looks like it's moving, but it's really not moving. It's just the perspective of the image. And then again, the playing with what's happening around. That smoke, that light, the capture of the ferociousness. It's just a great piece. And of course, a great supporter of mine, Levinik. Thanks for stopping by. Just a great piece of art. How about this one? this sort of, you're under surveillance, but fuck surveillance. Check out the animation. Check out the cameras, how they're synced. Check out the little, when you watch the hand, look at how it jiggles. Look at how it appreciates the texture in the walking movement. Look at the gloss below. Check out how he used that blue and peach with that red or brown. I like that. With the eye in the middle as the final. I mean, it's a great piece. You should share this. You should like it. You should share it. You should comment. You should bring this person up just by having an out-of-the-box style and creativity. It deserves to be seen. It's what makes the space. Brewline, always dropping this mesmerizing art that ends up becoming memorable with the color choices. I don't know if it's pen. I don't know if it's marker. You can see the blue and red, but then you can see up there that red skull looking down in between the blue, right? And you see the cat. Check out how the blue is fading into little dots. Check out how the blue and red mix together in order to give you 2 or 3 or 4 different pictures. The skull's bleeding through with that blue from the hair of that lady looking down with the cat. I mean, just a great, great piece. Always dropping fire art because I always remember that color palette. Let's see what else. Mr. Noise with the sort of Buddha. Hey, that's cool. I love those subtle animations. Sort of pixelated, sort of pencil-like, sort of glitchy, but also kept it yourself. I see a lot of red pieces come from Mr. Noise, and almost all of them capture my attention. Great artist. Thanks for stopping by and giving me a chance to review you. Hey, look, if you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe, follow, drop a comment. Let people know about this channel. Share this with your peers. Give me a share on Twitter. People have to know about NFT freaks going the extra mile. I've been going for an hour and 8 minutes right now, all of my own volition, my own thoughts, just giving you raw feedback and raw spill. I appreciate the people that have been sitting here with me. These streams are not just always going to be art threads. There's going to be some knowledge. There's going to be some tutorials. There's going to be walkthroughs. I'm planning on taking this channel to new heights, and I'm planning on bringing new people to one-of-one arts. That's my goal. And if you're a one-of-one artist, it should be mandatory for you to help me push that, because at the end of that tunnel is you yourself. Okay? At the end of that tunnel for anybody finding us is you yourself. Let's give Aishunya some love. Raw feedback here. I actually don't know what I'm looking at. But I have drawn on pieces of paper and folded them and opened them up and gotten this sort of symmetrical value style of design, right? I also like that when you go to shrinks and you go to crazy the people that help crazy people, they show them random pictures and ask people what they see. And I feel like this is one of those pieces that do it, where I look at this and I see a cow's face, I see a bull, I see tons of different things happening here, including bugs, including an icicle, including some form of a fossil or old. And I think that's the whole point, is just kind of making me look at it and saying, what the fuck am I really looking at? Well, that's what makes it art. And if you're willing to stick behind that, to ride the weirdness of the style out, it's the way you're going to become memorable and mesmerized, because it's yours. You understand? Let's go back to the chat down here real quick. Question. Doesn't feel like many people are riding on it doesn't feel like many people are riding on a dead horse. Many have found their style and are endlessly milking it. Well, Every single brand sticks to one thing until they're good at it, and then they switch out. In my opinion. You look at Samsung, you look at Sony, you look at Apple, you look at all these brands, you look at Coca-Cola. Yeah, they own vitamin water, right? But first, they perfected the Coca-Cola and the brand. I think that when you're like me, for instance, when I'm doing snakes and spiders, which at first were spiders, then I added snakes. Then I just started doing insects, animals. It wasn't that nobody else wasn't doing it. It was the fact that nobody was going to harp on it and build a community around it like I was. And so I'm still looking for those macro photographers to find me and connect with me so that we can make a coalition so that more collectors can find us. But it's harder than it looks when you're strapped for time. But I think that you should stick to a style so that you can attract the people that do similar stuff. Because it's like a pack of wolves or coyotes. You have to hunt together. Right? I feel like when I saw Hackateo and he or she was doing a lot of that tattoo work, and then I saw L Rock and L Rock was doing, I felt like Hackateo and L Rock should have really paired up with each other a lot of times in terms of some, because you're trying to be remembered together. People, the internet and the attention span is, it's the whole reason why the music industry sort of went down. Short form reels are taking over. The amount of information one consumes is, if I showed you my regular speed on my phone, how I go through Twitter, it is Godspeed. Like I'm literally going and I'm really like jumping around, right? And I'm really just like, because I know that here in about 20 minutes or 15 minutes, I'm going to get some type of call or I'm going to get some type of text, right? And I just, you got to be so fast with just your attention span. And so to slow down on it, right? It's killer. So when you're in the zone, like I said, and at the same time, I'm just using my phone here. Then you come back and you check your stuff. Then you're back to your art thread. The way people move, right? And that's just me using my phone. But if you actually see what I have here in front of me, I have my desktop, I have my iPad, I have my phone, usually have my laptop and something else. And so you're consuming so much information that you might not see the style. You might not see the person in their efforts. It might take you a while to find out what's really happening. It might take, kind of like me when I removed and I unlisted the snake in 5 days. And it's like, some people haven't even logged in yet, V, but that doesn't matter because I'm still traveling in the now. My messages are broadcasted for everybody. And at the same time, while I'm moving fast, I'm still having to give somebody some type of attention. So when I'm going like this and I'm refreshing to see my efforts and I come back down here, well, if somebody was to pop off a great message to me, or let's go find like I'm going, and then Alexander hit me with this. And then it had to do with what was important to me, right? And so for that brief moment, boom, you caught me. And so right then and there, I slowed down. So when I do notifications again, that next person's going to be seen. That's kind of a luck of the draw, don't you think? Don't you think? That's kind of luck of this is what's happening with you and collectors over and over again. And some of them are way more busy than I am. And so when you're here and people are moving at lightning speeds and getting tons and tons of notifications, you can understand how you can feel as if you're missed, or you feel like somebody has it out for you that they're not wanting to share you, or they're not wanting to give you that sort of attention, but all it really is just multitasking. And when you find that out, right? So again, Mandela makes me slow down because it's important. It's important for all of us holding L Rock. It's important for him, right? But you have to understand that that's going to take you a while for people to find you and for people to see you if they're moving at sort of those breakneck speeds, right? So just remember that when you're moving along and you're creating activity online, that not everybody is just trying to shun you or push you to the side. A lot of people, like I said, when you're moving really fast, it's happening a lot faster than you think, right? But let's keep going for just a little bit longer. Yeah, he is. He's a bad motherfucker, man. He really is. He's a bad motherfucker. And the reason why is, number one, I just to talk about L Rock for a second. He's a bad motherfucker because he does Muay Thai and all that shit, because that shit teaches you patience. Part of the whole Muay Thai fighting, and some of the best fighters that I've ever spoken to have always told me it's going to be the calmest person in the fight that's going to win. And that takes a lot of discipline and patience. And so, me too, when I'm fishing, even though you think that I may not have a lot of patience, I do, because I go fishing. There's been weeks that I've came up short after 8 to 10 hour days, over and over, not one bite, and still go back out there to try again. That sort of discipline and patience, and the only reason you have that is because it pays you off. And so, for instance, you're patient, shit's going bad. I don't know if I can be that patient. You're patient. Boom. Boom. Whatever, Mandela. Muay Thai. He's doing a little Muay Thai kickboxing. Okay. He's got his little, he's doing his little bit of knuckle ups. You want me to give you a little bit of Texan? He's doing that Muay Thai. You know? That Muay Thai. Whatever. But the discipline is a big thing, because those people have been rewarded, right? They've been rewarded. And so it's hard, like L Rock, right? Like, okay, he has one primary mint this year, but it psychs him out. Why? Because every other one was rewarded off of strict patience. And so it mind fucks him, because he's like, damn, how long am I supposed to wait? Well, it's hard, because remember the last time? You waited a long time too. And all that does for holders like us, that's why I tell you he's a bad motherfucker. It's not because he's my friend. It's not, all of y'all are my friend. Everybody's my friend that supports me. That has nothing to do with running a raw ass art program. Alexander, I learned a lot from his special patients. I stole the art program from him. So did I. I found it out through him. But if he never runs that program, and he's not patient enough to see that, and you know what? And he could have probably still won minting a lot too. But the way that message sits, like, again, Shunya, who scored an L Rock because we hold the value, makes it a great purchase. It's almost like you just came home with something from the store. It's a tough thing to be as patient as L Rock as being. Dude is a statue. I would have burned that piece first. Many times. And the one thing that I always tell him is, I say, if you burn, right, then you allow people to say this one thing where they say, I'll wait for something to catch my eye, or I'll wait for the next one, or I'll wait. And that is too I don't want you to expect it. If you expect it, if you think you're going to find something else, I'm not going to burn. And because remember, Mandela, you start burning and people start playing on that fence, and there's going to be a lot of times where you can second guess yourself because you say, man, last time I burned, I got picked up. There's going to be a time where no matter what you burn, you won't get picked up because the space ain't really moving. And so the last thing you want to be doing is just be caught burning everything and never sticking to nothing. And not understanding, is it the market? Because you have to understand one thing. Collectors collect art because they're winning in crypto. Collectors collect art because they've won in crypto. And so if they're not collecting, they're harvesting in crypto. And so the idea of you being patient, nice, kind, and awaiting their haul, like me, you got over 200 G's tied up in crypto, but I haven't collected a motherfucking thing in a month or two. But if you understand that about me, then you understand that there's going to be a time where I come back. And when I do, it's going to be the people that supported me and took care of me. It's not going to be just random strangers. And so you have to understand keeping your cool, keeping your wits, keeping your patience, not throwing that number up, not showing people what you consider your grails. To know that L Rock literally has one piece in 2023 and it's about to be 2024 it's fucking weird. But here's the thing. Like because I coach him, I manage him, right? And I say, what would you feel like if 7 pieces this year didn't sell on a bad year in crypto art? What do you think, Mandela, that would do to you if you burned and published 7 times and still never got action? Because of the way the game is being perceived in 2023. Instead, you're tricking yourself by saying, oh, it's because I only did 1 piece this year. And it could be because they don't like something as evil as a Medusa. You know what that does to your creative noggin? It allows you to write yourself off without being so hard, because you say, man, everybody knows if I would have burnt that and published, I would probably sold. And you need that hype to exist. You don't want to run through all your weapons. Confidence crusher. I'd go move packs. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. That's why a lot of boxers tease fights, but never accept the fight. Because they understand that as long as they tease with those fights and as long as they keep that above their head, the viewership is going to rise because they're always going to want. But if they tune into that fight and you lose that fight, you might not get another person to tune in ever again. And so the way that you have to watch that's how, again, back to WWE, they're not going to give you a Stone Cold versus The Undertaker because in the back of the choreographing, in the back of one man having to get pinned, that's going to be a hard storyline. They're not going to be able to, from the perception, they're not going to be able to get away with that on a Thursday night, on a Monday night. This has to be saved for the big main. What is our biggest money maker? Is it WrestleMania, SummerSlam? That's what we're going to have to do. And we're going to build a storyline all the way up to it so that when The Undertaker or Stone Cold gets pinned, which is going to either make us lose or win millions, the amount of money we've made on the way there eclipses anything that's going to happen. So if you get pinned tonight, don't worry. You'll still be a legend because it's the way we wrote the story. And think about that. Think about and in order to do that, you have to understand how the audience perceives you. Does that make sense? Wrestling and the rap game has so many parallels to what we do in NFT and art. Surprise. That's because they've all crossed into social media and the internet. Wrestling has always been a form of social media. The reason that's what nobody understands. Every single thing has clout on the internet. The Popeyes chicken sandwich had clout on the internet. It is also like the wrestling and the rap game. Wendy's and McDonald's play it now because they understand persona. They understand that if they put a persona behind the chicken nuggets and tell you that they got the flaming hottest chicken, our chicken nuggets are the best fucking chicken nuggets in the United States of America, and you're going to flip out because Wendy's used the F word. And that's exactly why they said it. Because they're crossing over into the promo side. It's no different than a wrestler grabbing the mic and going crazy, right? And if you come back to this channel here pretty soon, we'll start showing some examples. We'll start growing strength on social media identity, identifying how to create a personality, viewing some of these personalities and breaking down their content. Everybody has a day one. Before you knew of Drewski, Haha Davis, all these internet stars, they were regular people fishing content on the internet to get their audience stuck and glued. Does that make sense? And after they were victorious in doing so, then they were able to do whatever they wanted. But that's like Sly Fly McCartney. It's exactly like Sly Fly McCartney. Sly Fly McCartney was made to impress LaDante's grandma, but it went further. And it's because he took it further. And when he brought it to the internet, he built a sort of gimmick to it. Then he grabbed the microphone, and what you're really looking at, and we've already looked into it. You just have to go to wrestling school. But I feel like if I ever had enough time with Sly Fly to get him in a managerial position, or if I got him a walk-on in the AWA, because LaDante is athletic and he is built a certain way, and I guarantee you, if I really had him go through wrestling school, he could be a top dog superstar as Sly Fly. Because we've already thought about it. There's so many things that this guy is going to be able to try and have a chance to accomplish in 2024 that it's unreal. Starting with this next venture that we've just got invited to. Can't wait to tell you all about it. I just want to bring this one a little bit more to life. Make sure we have the funding behind it, but it's already in stone. But yeah, man, I know. I try to get him. I'm like, if the AEW understands who you are and how you work that mic, somewhere we could get a manager position, because he is what television needs. And his build is small enough that they could get away with doing so many different moves using him. His wig flying off, his little over theatrics, teeth coming out. I mean, just think about the laugh. I mean, join us. Sly Guys NFT. Opportunities are endless. As long as we stay alive and we stay healthy, our opportunity is always ringing bells. Okay? And when we ring that bell, you will know, hey, First stream, hour 30 minutes, 12:38 a.m. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for supporting everything I do. Hopefully you're hearing me loud and clear. I do have the actual blue mic hooked up. Going to get some other things going on. Going to get some other tools. Next time, probably be surfing some YouTube, Instagram, trying to break down some people. Maybe even start bringing out the master class for the Freaks University. I might go all the way to NFTfreaks.com and make a private members area. Who knows? Who knows? But I'll tell you this. If you're looking to succeed as a one-of-one artist, if you want to meet somebody for real, if you want to be shared, if you want to be given a real chance, come find me, man. Come find me. There are hundreds and hundreds of people who will vouch for me. Hundreds, if not thousands. I've never asked for anything back. There are artists that taken, used, made, scored, won. I never spoke to them again. I've never said one thing bad. I don't care. That's on them. That's not on me. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. I share. I get my blessings, my kudos all come back to me. Why? Because I've explained it many times. The Lord knows. I don't care what man knows. The Lord knows my heart in whatever I do. And so as long as I sow that with truth, honesty, integrity, as long as I pray before I do it, as long as I never connive, plot, and I never voluntarily sin where I am purposely going out of my way, I am human. Accidentally, it can happen. I can flip out. Thank you, Mandela. I really appreciate it. I do. I appreciate all your support. You stop by everything I do. I appreciate it. Art Notate. I'm sure I know your username on X. If not, thanks for joining me. Everybody. Again, I'm no master. I'm no wizard. I'm no Dr. Dre. I'm no gatekeeper. All I am is somebody who's trying to give people a fair chance. But at the same time, hook me up with one too. Hook me up with a fair chance. If NFT Freaks is going out of his way, because they've already beat me on the swooning the artist, they've already beat me on all the fake shit. Then I got to come in and I got to figure out how to keep it real. And so if you love one-of-one art like I do, let's spend an hour and 33 minutes showering these peers. That's right. I am the motherfucking DJ Screw of this game. And this is my gray tape. And you are the big pokies and the little flips and the big mo's. And if you know your history before Zero and Trey ever split up, then you would know the game. Anyways, back to DJ Screw. I guess that's why you said it. How many people came from that wave? How many still come from that wave? How memorable and mesmerizing is that person who put all those people on, who never got anything back until he finally left? But in the end of the day, the game he shared with a lot of people, what he gave a lot of people. I mean, that's the thing about, like, it's like Suge Knight. You can hate Suge Knight for being a monster or being a savage or doing whatever he did. But at the end of the day, all of those guys that came through him are a household name. And those people are scoring off their names on their own deals right now. Right now. Snoop Dogg, household name. Dr. Dre, household name. The people that they created, the 50 Cent, household names. Those names themselves have made millions that Suge doesn't have. Who cares if he has your music? See, that's the thing. When you meet people in business like Suge Knight, or you look at a Vince McMahon, and you look at The Rock, who had to drop The Rock. Because if you say The Rock is in the movie, Vince gets a cut. Right off the bat. That's why The Rock started using Dwayne Johnson. But he was strong enough and big enough that he was able to use that. There's people like Hulk Hogan that had to keep Hulk Hogan that have to keep paying on Hulk Hogan. Because saying starring Terry Bollea isn't going to work. And so sometimes, dude, you have to understand. And not everybody can do that, by the way, because there are people who are with Suge, there are people who work with Vince, and there are people who will never, ever know how to, I don't know how much you know music, but there's Young Buck with 50 Cent who had all the chances in the world to spin up into and he dropped the ball. There's a lot of people who drop the ball. I researched and asked around before coming into NFTs, and everyone who told me to come into the space only told me one name to learn everything, and that was NFT Freaks, man. Well, that's very humbling. I appreciate you sharing that with me, and I'm glad you found me. And I'm glad you picked up and you connected, and I just love it, man. I love it because nothing against anybody else, but like when you're dealing with Time Lord and you got Mandela in the house, now you got an L Rock, and it's like, bro, you can't. How do we drop you on your head? How then do we drop you on your head? We'd be dropping all of us. We're in the same shit. That's the thing that I don't. Please find me where I'm asking you, where I'm not doing like you. If you do, leave. Because every time I go to these other people, they're not doing that. They're not doing what they're asking others to do. Yo, I'm down. I'm down to eat the blueberries and get sick and find out those blueberries ain't really that good in this jungle. I'm down to try those fucking strawberries and figure out the strawberries are delicious. I'm down to tell you, hey, this is a new jungle. I've never tried those green grapes. And then Mandela comes back and says, green grapes are good, dog. I had those. I'm down to try them. But there's a lot of people here that don't know the internet. They don't know the internet enough that they have to lie. They have to use blurred backgrounds and clouds and, they're scared to use their phone and messages pop up and shit. I don't know. Like, I don't give a fuck what you see. Like, there's nothing to hide. And before I leave here, it's the one reason I hate the internet. When you look for day trading, scalp trading, NFTs, anything that makes money on the internet has been diluted, saturated, has been fucking hacked, has been like fucking coursed up. Just it's like whenever somebody finds out one thing, like, hey, I know where to get honey and make $100. And somebody finds out about it, it's like how to make true honey to make $200. How to make green true honey to make $300. How to make green true honey from bees, not hornets, to make $500. I know you have honey, but here's synthetic honey. I know you've bought synthetic honey, you do this honey, but check out this honey. And then when you catch wind of it, you go online and there's 53,000 videos on how to make money off of honey online. And people say, fuck that. I don't want to. Gurufied. Oh, that's a good one. Gurufied. Exactly. Not sensationalized, gurufied. How many of these I love your spaces, but this last half hour has been like your space plus an extra element that makes it feel much more intimate. That's how I set it up, brother. Now, hey, with that being said, because you got to read the room. So I see y'all are getting addicted and you're liking it. I love it. This is the time where it ends. It's the time where it ends. No, hey, I appreciate you stopping by. I hope we can do this more and more. I hope we can get some collaborative videos going on. I know there's ways to invite each other. I want to be streaming on all platforms. I want to be on Instagram Live, Twitter. I want to be on Facebook. I want to be on all of them at one time, right? Just one big ball. And I want to eventually, I don't know if I'll get there, but could you imagine a QVC of sort of NFTs? I put an NFT up there. We bid, we get, you know what I mean? I want to take this thing to new heights. I want to monetize the channel with artists for one of one art, and I want to come back and spend on my friends. I don't want to depend on other people to bring their revenue to the space. I want to create the revenue between me and my peers and lock it down. And I want to start something that the other people will read and look and start to dive into. And it starts with us. It starts with us. It starts with Aishunya coming to take a look. L Rock's been in the space for 3 years. He has 25 open editions, and we're still struggling to sell out 25 editions because, again, people are splintered. Their thoughts, the crews, the tribes, the understanding. And so with you coming in here and doing that, you're moving that needle for us. Every person who wins here, especially Aishunya, the more and more you support others, that is all just amplifying and anticipating your final win, because at the end of the day, they have to turn around and put you at the top as well. Let's fucking go. That's the future I want to be in, man. Listen, it's the future I want to be into. I don't mind who has the ball. I don't mind who's winning. I don't mind who's scoring. If L Rock wins, I win. If Alexander Shark wins, I win. If Aishunya wins, I win. If Mandela wins, I win. It is set up, if Affection wins, I win. It is set up to where it doesn't matter if my snake sells or not. Because if I really wanted to, I could go rally Aishunya and L Rock and all the open editions and everything we bought right now and turn it into my snake and live through my friend, knowing that you're pushing the needle that we're all trying to live under. And it doesn't just happen with one person. This isn't a Sly Fly L Rock Freaks game. This is everybody's game. Those are just the first players that took the theory and made it true. That's it. That's the only thing that L Rock and Sly Fly, Paul Massey, and these people that I deal with, all they did was show me and you that this is true. Now let's go after it. That's why when you said earlier, Alexander, it's where I got my program. It's where I came up with all this shit. But here's the thing. If I went right now and clicked on a couple of artists that were really booming, and then I asked you how they came up out there, and we started picking apart their pieces and their collection, I guarantee I've already done it. You'll be lost. Do you find a problem with that? Do you find a problem with looking at people's portfolio who have won extensively large in this space and simply be lost at how the fuck they were able? A duck is a duck if a duck is a duck. Quacks, it's a duck, dog. There's just no possible way that if you're a listen, it's like an investigation, okay? It's like an investigation. You're a multimillionaire, then there should be a paper trail, there should be a history, there should be a track record of how you became one. Unless you became one through illegal activities, or you never really earned it in the first place. Because there's no way that you wouldn't have a track record of struggling in between the hustling to get full and fat and rich. Because I'll tell you right now, if you start looking at my track record at where I'm at for 30, you'll find a whole shitload of struggles and hustles. Why, when we go to some of these artists, you find none? All you do is find a ramp up to the sky in less than 30 days, 60 days, 120 days. Oh, it's generative art. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care who hears this. Generative art is the last thing on my list. I put AI art way in front of generative art. And I put real art that people draw with their hands in front of AR, and I put it in front of 3D art. And if somebody takes a pen and a pencil and starts drawing on a napkin like Joki Argu, I put that shit above sculpting and modeling. And you say, why, V? There's a lot of time. It doesn't matter. I'm going to the raw form and technique and skill. If you're able to produce the pictures I'm able to produce and not have this freaking fucking expensive ass lens, look it up. It ain't no. And you're saying, hey, I'm pulling this off on a little handheld. Brother, that's raw skill. If your edits are looking fire, that's raw skill. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit around activity, how much hours you log, your understanding, how much you understand who's who, what is what, where's what, and then the actual effort you put in. Again, let's go here real quick. I don't care what you do. Because when you take the activity, the understanding, and the effort, top tier. You say, well, haven't you seen the video game cutscene that so-and-so made? I don't even know so-and-so, and nobody here does either. Why would we ever bet on that person before we bet on this? And the only way you could do that is if you were here for the art, because you're going to be tricked into finding some other type of art form, and you're going to be rugged because you don't have the activity from the logging of the hours nor the understanding of what it takes to burn people and what it doesn't. People who come here with no regrets, people who come here with no time invested can burn you with no repercussions. I believe that Alexander Shark is emotionally, the conviction of emotions of time that you've put in here, that if you took my $100 and did something crazy, or you would feel more like shit than I would. Because how emotionally invested you are through the time that you've spent, which makes this piece fantastic. Hey, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, we'll get better. I'll get better at this. And, well, I don't know if you knew that, but open to offers on number 9 because it's reputation that matters, not so much the money, but at the same time, try to make a splash and a right reflection. You never want to go in and lowball anybody. You actually want to go and give them more because you're the last person speaking. But at the same time, you need to take advantage, because if I'm asking about offers, then you have to make sure that it could be your reputation that I'm willing to accept versus the money. We'll never know unless you try, but every time you try, I'm going to use that to rally more people. And so it's a win-win for me, but it could also be a win-win for you because you never know when I'm going to pull that trigger on $53 and make a statement across the whole fucking community. But you won't know unless you try. And so again, I'm open to offers. Mint 9. Mary Jane. This is NFT Freaks. I've had a good time, man. Thank you so much. I'll be in the chat for a little bit longer as we ride out.